Welcome to another episode of Empowered Health. This week we have a show jam-packed with information to help you maximize your health.
That's right, we're going to learn more about allergies and pollen and take a look at what adjustable beds can do for you.
But first, we're going to switch gears and take a look at homeopathy for pets.
I am an animal homeopath. It's a little different because animals can't talk, so I think I related a little bit more to children, right? So you'd have to take a lot of information from the caregivers and the owners of the animals, and very much observation.
Homeopathy is a holistic system of treatment. It's based on the idea that substances that produce symptoms of illness in healthy people will have a curative effect when given in small quantities to sick people who exhibit those same symptoms.
Homeopathically, we look at symptoms as a means to track the deeper layer of the disease. So it's like taking off layers till you finally get down to the core disease. So by the time we get them, there's so many layers that we have to, almost like detectives, figure out, is this actually organic disease or is this drug pathology? If it's drug pathology, what we do often is we'll try and detox that pathology, support the liver, support the kidneys, support whatever organ that it's affecting, and then get into more constitutional treatment. It really depends.
When it comes to pet homeopathy, the principle is the same. But what Julianne is suggesting is that animal health care can be looked at on an individual basis.
Some dogs can take some certain drugs, or they can have a general anesthetic and they breeze through it. Some dogs are affected more, just like people. They're such individual. Even though they can be the same breed, two puppies or two kittens can have different diseases and also completely different personalities. So you have to make it really individual.
When it comes to pet homeopathy, the principle is the same. But what Julianne is suggesting is that animal health care can be looked at on an individual basis.
The amount of people that come in and say, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Do you know that we treated them for their cat for inflammatory bowel disease or their dog for inflammatory bowel disease, and they're like, my husband has inflammatory bowel disease. So we've sent them to homeopaths because of it. It's remarkable how animals can actually heal your family, even from that level. It's phenomenal.
Coming up on Empowered Health.
We all want to find that magic bullet for weight loss. The diet supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, but mostly what these companies sell is hope.
You're watching Empowered Health. We are going to be talking to Dr. Brian Budgell, who will be filling us in on his research about spinal stenosis.
But before we get to that, Randy Shore is back on the show to talk about diet supplements. I can hardly wait to hear what he has to say about that.
Me too.
Randy?
We all want to find that magic bullet for weight loss. The diet supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, but mostly what these companies sell is hope. Hope that we can take a pill and lose weight while eating our favorite foods and watching TV. One of the most popular of these has a name that sounds suspiciously like liposuction, but there are a lot of names to choose from. These products are mainly composed of soluble fiber, such as glucomannan, psyllium, or oat bran, and sometimes insoluble fiber like wheat bran. When you buy brand name fiber supplements promoted as weight loss products, you can expect to spend $60 for a month's supply. But you know what? With a little poking around, you can find the main ingredients in these products for a small fraction of that price. The big question is, will fiber promote weight loss? Yeah, it probably will. Water and soluble fiber before a meal will make you feel full faster. And it's going to really speed things up at the other end too. Here's the problem. Most of the studies of fiber-based weight loss products are industry funded and poorly designed. When you look at all the studies and throw out the really biased ones, there is a slight weight loss effect. But there's no way of knowing whether the people who lost weight changed something else about their lifestyle. Simply thinking more about your food, what's called mindful eating, or having a large glass of water with your fiber capsules before dinner could account for many of the results of these so-called successful studies. A meta-analysis of all the quality studies of fiber-based over-the-counter weight loss supplements found that people lost about 3/4 of a kilo on average over the 5-week study period. Even the most optimistic results amounted to about half a kilo a month for 4 months. No one knows what happens after 4 months. Maybe nothing. The effective glucomanate was amplified by dietary and lifestyle changes, which tells me that dietary and lifestyle changes were probably responsible for most of the reported weight loss. I know it's boring, but this is what scientists, doctors, and nutritionists have been saying all along. Move more, eat less. The supplements are a waste of money. I'm Randy Shore for Empowered Health.
Your back affects your daily health. Welcome to another installment of Your Spine, Your Health.
Because you have a spine, it's important to understand what chiropractic care means to your health. Your health always starts with a regulatory college. In this case, the College of Chiropractors of BC serves to ensure you receive the appropriate diagnosis and care from a qualified chiropractic doctor today and tomorrow. That's also why BC's chiropractors fund research and education. Today I want to introduce you to Dr. Brian Budgell. He's doing some significant research on spinal stenosis.
What we're doing is providing the animal with TENS stimulation, which involves a series of electrical impulses. The frequency of the stimulation, whether we do it 4 times per second or 100 times a second, this can have a profound effect upon the outcome. So within the animal, we can experiment and find precisely the right parameters to use. In the very short term, over a period of minutes, if we compress the animal's spinal cord and decrease the blood flow, which one would think would be bad for a spinal cord, with the stimulation we use, we can bring that blood flow back to the pre-compression level, and we can keep it there so far for the 15 minutes of stimulation. That's the duration that we've chosen to use so far. So that's what we have now.
What Dr. Budgell is explaining is how animal models can be used, in this case a rat, to mimic spinal stenosis in humans. The rat has a device placed at the vertebral column to compress the spinal cord, mimicking the disease in humans. One observation is looking at how stimulation factors into the disease.
We provided sensation to animals. It could have been stroking of the skin or pinching of the skin. And we looked at changes in the behavior of many internal organs, discovered, much to our surprise, that just gentle stroking of the animal's skin produced quite a substantial increase in spinal cord blood flow.
These types of experiments are extremely difficult to perform without animal testing because we do not have the technology to monitor second by second the blood flow within the spinal cord of a human.
We're now going in 2 directions. We want to apply this treatment in the clinic to see if we can make it work in the clinic to help human beings. We also want to do longer-term experiments in animals so that we can understand very precisely the mechanisms of the disease.
As you can see, it's not just about what we can do for you today. We're working to build a better tomorrow with better health outcomes for you. The College of Chiropractors of BC sets the standards for safety, outcomes, and your informed consent.
Hey guys, this is your Simple Fitness Tips. My name is Jameson Wolf, and this is Simona Marion. Today we're going to talk about what it is to superset your exercises in your fitness program. Supersetting involves performing an exercise for a certain amount of reps, followed by a different exercise for a certain amount of reps, with no rest or some rest in between. Supersets are great because they save you time by performing more work in less time. All right, Simona, I'm going to get you to start with a barbell row, and this is going to be a horizontal pull. Neutral spine, awesome. Let the bar hang. Simona's going to superset this with a horizontal push, known as a rack push-up. Now, when supersetting, you can superset a vertical push with a horizontal pull or a vertical push with a vertical pull. Keep in mind that it's very important that when supersetting, that you don't superset with competing muscle groups or exercises that involve a lot of grip strength, such as a deadlift or a pull-up. Good job. Awesome. All right, try supersetting out, and we'll see you next episode.
After the break.
The eye is a skin, and you can get irritants in there that can cause an allergic reaction. It's the immune system that's responding to these pollutants, allergens, or whatever have you.
Next up, we're going to check out our reoccurring segment on sleep. We're going to take a look at adjustable beds. Are they really better for your back?
Oh, that should be a good one, Michelle. And stay tuned after the break as I get into some more gluten-free baking with Chef Julia Olton. And it's a good one today. We are making a crumble.
In this segment of Empowered Health Sleep, we're talking to the bed expert, Farouk Manji. And today, Farouk, I want to talk about adjustable beds. And adjustable beds are one of the things that make me so happy to be alive right now, because there's been tremendous advances in technology around sleep. What is it about an adjustable bed that can make it like that much more of a truly restorative experience for someone to go to sleep?
Adjustable beds, first off, people think that I need one if I'm in the older years or I'm a senior. And it's absolutely not the case. There are definitely health and medical benefits to an adjustable foundation, but there are a lot of lifestyle things nowadays when we look at. A lot of people watch TV in bed, they'll do their work on their laptop, etc. And having an adjustable bed, you can customize it to the way you want. Elevate your legs to a certain height, elevate the back to a certain position, and then the health benefits to it. So people that have breathing issues, acid reflux, digestive issues can use an adjustable bed to help mitigate those issues.
What, just by raising up like the upper part of their body, that can help them deal with some of those health issues?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll open up their airway passages for breathing issues, digestion. It'll help with that as well. Back issues, lower back pain, things like that. Just having you elevated at a certain position will help take away that pain.
So, are there different types of elevated beds? Are there ones that do certain things and others that do even more? And what are some of the options?
Yeah, that's a very good question. There's a huge gamut and array of these adjustable foundations. You can get ones that just do the basic work, will lift and raise your head and your shoulders and your feet area. Or you can get ones that do all of that, plus they'll have a massage feature. You can control it with your iPhone. The newest in most of these foundations is the new zero gravity position. So zero gravity will have your legs raised slightly above the heart level and your back raised at about 15 or 20 degrees. That's the exact position of zero gravity.
And does it bend your knees as well, or it's not just in a V?
Yeah, absolutely, it does bend. Yes, yeah, right. It bends your knees and it raises up your back, which will help your muscles relax, give you the proper support, and really help you fall asleep.
Thanks for all this important information about sleep, and thanks for joining us on Empowered Health Sleep. Pollen, cat dander, dust, they can all make you want to scratch your eyes out. Some more than others. But what exactly are we talking about when it comes to allergies?
The eye is a skin, and you can get irritants in there that can cause an allergic reaction. It's the immune system that's responding to these pollutants, allergens, or whatever have you, irritants if you want to call them.
When your eyes fall victim to allergens, they become red and itchy. It's a knee-jerk reaction to just rub them. But did you know that little rub can beat the hay out of your eyes?
As rubbing the eyes, although you want to do it, is not the best. It can actually release more histamine into the eyes, so cause the itching to get even worse, right? So it just breaks up those cells and releases all those, irritants into the eyes.
You could scratch the very front surface of the eye. It's a clear protective layer that's called the cornea. If you were to do that, there's actually a nerve bed underneath it, and those nerves will become very irritated very quickly. If you irritate those nerves, of course, you're going to experience some pain, and that does take some time for it to heal.
So what's the best way to deal with allergies and your eyes?
And there's many different ways we can combat that. One of the simplest ways is just using artificial tears again, right? Basically, you put those tears in, they kind of rinse out those offending factors. They can rinse them out a little bit.
Cold compresses, I find, cool that system down as well, bring it to more of a basal level. You can also use specific eye drops that are used to be an anti-allergen.
When it comes to your eyes, it's always best to check with your optometrist before putting anything in them, especially if they're irritated. your optometrist will be able to prescribe drops specifically for you and your particular allergy needs.
With some of the advancements as well, when you're placing one drop on the surface of the eye, that can get you through the whole day. As an additional benefit, some of the different pharmaceuticals that we now use actually have two agents that are working at the same time. So in the first 3 to 4 weeks, you'll get a major benefit from the drops, but then thereafter you can actually get additional benefit as that second agent starts to work better and better.
Coming up on Empowered Health.
We are making a strawberry rhubarb ginger crumble today.
This cooking and nutrition portion brought to you by Save On Foods.
Registered holistic nutritionist Julia Olton is in the kitchen today with another awesome recipe. Julia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What are we making today?
We are making a strawberry rhubarb ginger crumble today.
Strawberry rhubarb ginger crumble.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the crumble. The crumble includes the oatmeal.
So this goes in here?
And we have brown sugar, and there's a cup of that. We have almond flour, but you could use regular all-purpose flour as well. That would work. And there's a cup of that.
All right.
And then we're going to put some cinnamon.
Okay.
And some of this lemon zest.
Lemon zest.
Yeah. And that's about a teaspoon of lemon zest.
Okay.
And then we're going to put some baking soda and just a little pinch of salt. So we're going to stir all of this up, and we're going to add some butter that I melted on the stove.
Okay.
And that's going to be basically the ingredients of our crumble.
Okay.
The
topping?
Topping and the bottom. This also is pressed into the bottom. And then we're going to take half of this and press it into...
So that becomes the bottom.
This becomes the bottom. We just greased a pie plate, about a 9-inch pie plate. And what we're going to do is...
Spread it across evenly.
Spread it in on the bottom. So what you could do is take that silver bowl while I'm doing this.
The bigger one?
Yeah.
And
put the rhubarb, the strawberries, and the candied ginger in there.
Okay.
And then what we want to do is mix that all together. And we'll try that spoon, see how that works.
So rhubarb, strawberry, and candied ginger.
Yeah. And we just mix that all up, and then we're going to take that mixture and sprinkle it in over top of this base.
Okay.
This has, we're going to put a maple syrup sort of sauce over this, so it'll thicken it, and then...
Right, and to spread the flavors evenly across all the different fruits.
You could put a bit more.
Put more?
This is all going to shrink quite a bit.
Right.
So I think more is better. What we need to do is cook the maple syrup sauce on the stove. So we're going to go back to the stove. Actually, you could put the
all of it?
Yes, 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup in there. So I pre-measured that. That's about half a teaspoon of ginger.
And vanilla?
And vanilla. And then we're going to heat this up, and when it's bubbling, we're going to add a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it a bit.
Okay, right. So the sauce is done?
The sauce is done. You can see it's thick and it's luxurious sauce.
Right. Now we're going to top it off.
We're going to top this off and just pour it over the fruit. That's what we're using for sweetener in this.
Right. Plus the natural sweetness of the fruit.
Yeah.
In itself.
So we put that on, and then the final part of this is just
the mix that we've made in the beginning, so it goes on top.
It's a bit messy. You really have to do it with your fingers.
Okay.
So I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top, and then we're going to put it in a 350 oven and bake it for about 40 minutes. And we actually have made one in advance, so you actually don't have to wait for this to cook.
Okay, okay, that's good then.
Which is very good.
Okay, let's taste it. I'm looking forward to this. Let's see. Oh, this is so good.
You like it?
This is going to be my favorite dessert from now on. The flavors are so good. The sweetness is perfect, and the rhubarb, the strawberries, the maple syrup, everything is so nice.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Well, thank you for being on the show, and thank you for this recipe.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to eat it all. Thanks. If you're like me, you probably like to end your meal with a great dessert. And if you're really like me, every time you're having dessert, you're thinking about how many calories are there in it. Registered dietitian Crystal Higgins joins us today to tell us about a healthier dessert option. Crystal, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you guess my first question to you?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, are there healthier desserts that are out there?
Exactly. Please tell us. We're dying to know that.
Well, I like to refer to myself as the dessert-loving dietitian, so I have a lot of healthy desserts up my sleeve, but one of my favorite indulgences would be a fruit-based crumble, and you also get some nutritional benefits out of it. You're getting fiber and antioxidants from your fruit and some fiber from the oat-based topping.
You mentioned a fruit-based crumble. What kind of fruits can be added to it?
Well, the best thing is almost any fruit can be added to the bottom, but commonly things like apples, pears, blueberries, cherries, and something like strawberry and rhubarb combined together, particularly in spring when rhubarb is grown locally here. Just remember that rhubarb is a little bit tart like a cherry, so you want to add a little bit of extra sugar to the fruit base.
If I'm not wrong, I think the topping of the fruit crumble also has flour as well as oats, right?
That's right. And if you are looking for a gluten-free option for your crumble, you can go flourless and just combine your oats with healthier things like ground flax seeds or hemp hearts, or even using a gluten-free flour mix that you can buy at the store is a great option as well.
How does a fruit crumble rate on the calorie scale? How many calories are there?
Well, relative to other rich desserts, so things like cheesecake and pastries and pies and such.
Did you really have to say all those names?
All these delicious options that I also enjoy, those ones are quite high, up 400, 500, 600 calories plus, whereas a fruit crumble, you're looking at maybe 250 to 300 calories.
That's not bad, actually.
Not too bad.
And any suggestions to cut it down further?
Well, obviously adding a little less sugar, a little less butter to the topping, maybe forgo the sugar in the fruit-based part, but you don't want to significantly impact the taste, the texture of the dessert. It kind of ruins it, right? So you only want to reduce it by about 25%.
I was once given a tip that you don't have to cut down any sugar, any fat from your dessert, but you can still cut down on the calories. It's really practical, works about 50% of the times in my case.
Please tell me.
All you have to do is the person who is offering you the dessert, you look them in the eye and you move your neck to the left and you move it to the right and you just keep repeating it.
Uh-oh.
Depends on how pushy the person in front of you is. Depends on your willpower if this is going to really work or not. Well, thank you for being on the show and thank you for telling us about healthier desserts and fruit crumbles.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's all for this episode of Empowered Health. Great information, as ever. I'm left with a lot to think about, especially the strawberry crumble.
Oh, Michelle, it was delicious. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and we will see you again next week.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.